This is the 18th video of Warplan War in Europe. I am playing the Germans, and the game's artificial intelligence is playing the Allies. Now we're going to start out this video, and in fact it's probably going to be most of it, with addressing some of the gripes I have about the game. Now this game, having said that, this game has many excellent points to it. It plays exceptionally well. Alvaro Sousa, who designed the game, use of AI is brilliant. He uses it like in railroad movement and in normal unit movement brilliantly. And the way he handles combat is also brilliant. I mean, it is the best I've ever seen. And I haven't played every game, but I've played some of them. But he just does a brilliant job. And the flow of such a complex game is almost astounding. It is a lot of fun to play this game, and it moves fast for the complexity he has introduced. And he has introduced some very important and interesting complexities in the game too. But there are a couple things that need some more work, and I think I hope I can concentrate on writing a letter to him to make some suggestions for the future. Now, one of those is I've built up an impenetrable line almost in the Soviet Union. And the way you do it is you use straight line deployments, and where you have a junction, you have an inner angle, not an outer angle. Now what that means is you join lines with an inner angle, which means you only leave the enemy one hex to attack that unit. And I'll show you what that means when we go to the game, but I can't go to the game now because I want to go in to editor and show you some things that will address some of my gripes. So anyway, when you have an outer angle, you can attack on 3 hexes. Now my straight line strategy results in an attack by only 2 units. And since the biggest units, well, it's not quite the biggest unit in the game. The Soviets have a guards unit at 36 combat points, but that really is not going to make a difference. Almost all of your units, even if you had 2 guard units, 16 times 2 is 32. Well, you're going to have 3-to-1 on an attack if you use 2 of those guard units. But a guard unit is probably 3% of the units in the game, maybe 5%. Most of them are going to be either tank units, mechanized units, or infantry, and those are all 30 points. So if you have 2 units and you attack another unit at 30 points, you're only going to have 60 points. And 60 points is 2-to-1 odds, and 2-to-1 odds is close to suicide. You're going to suffer very high losses, and your ability to push the enemy back is going to be very low. And even if you do push them back, you're still going to suffer very high losses. And the game itself recommends you not make 2-to-1 attacks. But in a straight line attack, that's all you're going to have. And even with the 36 strength units, you're going to have a 3-to-1 attack, which is probably a 50-50 attack. The 2-to-1 is much less than 50-50. So you have almost an invulnerable line if you can, you ignore all the rivers and everything and just do straight line. And that makes you almost invulnerable. And in fact, that's what's happened. AI has attacked a line like that a couple times, suffered really high casualties, and then doesn't attack anymore. Now, that is not World War II warfare. That's World War I warfare. We have the trench systems and they're invulnerable to attack. And frankly, most World War II type campaign games pretty much devolve into that. You wind up having solid lines of units, just like you did during World War I. And a lot of times they can't be penetrated. So that's kind of the system that's here. Now, there are a couple things wrong with it. First of all, World War II was about mobile warfare. And if you had a line like that, it could be cracked. In this game, it's almost impossible to crack it. I took my entire Air Force, the German Luftwaffe, and attacked one hex, and I made absolutely no impression on the defending unit, which is really kind of ridiculous. You think about Battle of the Bulge and what happened when the skies cleared. The U.S. Air Force decimated German armor and infantry divisions. You look at the carpet bombing in St. Lo. I mean, they bombed those divisions to smithereens. But in this game, you can use the entire Luftwaffe on one hex and you have no result, because I've done it. And you wind up losing air units for no result. So there's something the matter with that. And there's something the matter with an armor attack, that an armored corps is as powerful as an infantry corps. There ain't no way. Now, all you have to do is look at Kursk. Now, what happened at Kursk? The Germans were plowing through the Russian defense network, which was comprised of infantry and a lot of trenches and anti-tank. They were plowing through those very slowly and at heavy casualties, but they were getting through. Now, if there would have been no Russian armor, I think they would have got through them. But there was Russian armor, and the Russian armor counterattacked. I think it was the 6th Russian Tank Army. And you had that huge battle. I can never remember the name. Prukhovka, something like that. And that's what stopped the Germans. Not the infantry. The infantry slowed them down and caused casualties, but it was the armor that stopped them. And from the German point of view, it was the armor that was cutting through the infantry, slowly and with heavy casualties, but they were cutting through. In this game, you can't do that. So, I mean, those are my two of my big gripes. The other one is this whole logistics thing, which I think is completely phony. I stopped producing units in mid-1942 because I didn't have any more logistics points and it wouldn't let me produce any units, despite the fact that I had a lot of manpower and a lot of production. Now, historically, the Germans produced units right up to the end of the war. They were producing aircraft. They went into jet aircraft. They went into missiles. They were still coming out with land units, all the way through the war. But I could not produce anything except trucks outside of mid 1942. What's wrong with that picture? It doesn't square with reality. And another thing that doesn't square with reality was I made my main campaign against the Caucasus. So I started out in 31. I put all of my armor in that southern advance, and I got quite a bit of luck, and I made excellent progress. And so the first year, I think I got to the Donets. The second year, which was 1942, I was able to get to Stalingrad, although I think I was out of supply, and I had captured Rostov. Okay, that's basically worse than what the Germans did. And I had about the best progress you could imagine, because they took advantage sometimes of gaps in the Russian line and crossed the river line without a battle. Several river lines. So I got incredibly lucky. That would never happen again, I don't think. But I could not achieve with the full offensive force of the German army. I could not achieve what the Germans did historically in World War II. In fact, I achieved much less. They got to Stalingrad, and they were in supply, and they got way into the Caucasus. I just barely got past Rostov, and they were, they captured Maikop, and they were right outside Grozny on their way to Baku. I never got close. So with greater force, I could not duplicate their achievement. And I was using the entire German Air Force to support them. So there's something the matter there. I mean, yeah, these are things that should be fixed, but they still don't detract from the wonder of this game. This is just wonderful. Now, the most wonderful thing is Sousa put in an option at the beginning, and that's what I want to talk about here, called Editor. And from somewhere I picked up, well, you can edit certain things in the game. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. So let's click on it now and look at that. So here it says select a campaign, a saved campaign. Well, I'm going to select October 41. Hopefully this doesn't screw anything up. I just won't save it. So we're loading in the data for this, so you're in effect selecting a game. Okay. Now it has all these options in the upper left. This is the map, by the way. We're just off the US. So let's go to Europe here. For some reason, these sea lanes are highlighted. So see, this is the regular map. But you go up here, there's a lot of different options you can press. So let's press unit basics. Now you can see here these are all the units in the game. I guess they're pretty much the same for each country, except they have different values. Well, for this game you're playing, which I should have started in 39. I keep thinking I've been working with the Pacific counterpart to this game, so I keep thinking, Pearl Harbor. But it's the same thing. So here, for each unit, you've got movement, combat, logistics, and cost. How perfect is that? These affect two of my major gripes. Because here, you can turn off logistics. And all you do is press a negative. See this column here? This is how much logistics these units cost. So headquarters is 1, tactical air group is 3, strategic air group is 4. Now I think, as far as I can determine, the logistics are somehow related to unit limitations in unit builds. But that doesn't make any sense. That's the most logical thing I can come up with. But that doesn't make sense because you have manpower and you have production. Well, those are your limits. If you run out of one, you're not going to be able to produce one or the other. So I'm not sure that this is a good idea to have something so nebulous like this. And what it does is it mandated that I couldn't produce any more units in mid-1942, which was kind of ridiculous. I mean, if you remember your German military history, their output in 1944 was tremendous, with submarines, with aircraft. Now me, I topped out in 42, but I didn't build a single submarine. So the Germans built 1,000 submarines. Well, I didn't build any, but I still topped out, and I couldn't build any. I didn't build anywhere near all of the infantry corps. Why? Because I ran out of logistics. I didn't build all of the Air Force that they had because I ran out of logistics. Or the armor corps, because I ran out of logistics, or I didn't build any mountain corps, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't build a lot of stuff, but I still ran out of logistical points, so I couldn't build any more. So here, you can see are the logistical points, and here are minus plus. So here, this is one logistical point. If I press minus, it's 0. I'll reset it because I don't want to screw things up. So I can set all of these to 0, which negates the use of logistical points, which is great because I like to see a game without those used. So I can do that here. Another thing is I was commenting at one point on the lack of operational points for German motorized units. They're the same as German infantry, 5. And the armor is 9 operations points. And operations points are movement, basically, points. I don't know why they don't call them that. But the funny part is here they do, and otherwise they call them operational points. So in my opinion, the motorized units, which were the Panzer Grenadiers, should have like more than infantry but less than armor. So like 7. If infantry is 5, motorized units should be 7 and armor 9. Here you can do that. You can set that right here. Here's the movement. You can set it. So like here, for instance, we have a mech corps. You can go up or down with it. So this is 6. Oh no, what is going on here? What are these numbers? Maybe they're other than operation points. Okay, I thought these were operation points, but they're not. Or are they? I don't know. See, for air, 15, that's probably about right. Well, why isn't this 5 for infantry divisions? But maybe you can set them here. I'll have to see. See, this is going to take some experimentation. So if I set it for 7 for mech corps, is it going to have 7 operational points? I would think so, because this is, I think, the correct operational points for air. Maybe these are just 0. Well, these might be 0 because depending on what nation you choose, it may be different for each nation. For instance, the Russians, their armor moved slower than the Germans, and so did the French armor, and so did the British armor. Now, the American armor moved as fast as the Germans because they had an independent armor development, whereas the British were always building their tanks, and they had their armor mentality. Tanks were supposed to support the infantry, so they moved slower. So anyway, I think at least there's a possibility here you could address those movement issues. Now, combat is also here. Now, in my opinion, in order to have a mobile game, the mech and the armor have to have a lot more hitting power. Double, maybe even triple what an infantry division has. And then they could punch through the lines, which they did, which they historically did. And then you would have mobile warfare. And same thing with the Air Force. The Air Force is not as strong as they were historically in ground operations. So they need double or triple the power. Because, I mean, just look at the Battle of the Bulge and what the American Air Force did once the skies cleared. I mean, they just and look at D-Day, same thing. How they pounded the German armor when it tried to move up to the beaches. So the infantry was very powerful. But in this game, I mean the Air Force, but in this game it's almost useless. So several of my gripes will be addressed here. Now I've just basically glanced at this stuff. I've really got to work with it and see what's what here. So there's all kinds of I don't know, zones of control you can set. See, and that's another thing. I don't know how this could be handled, but in the beginning, with so few anti-tank weapons, the infantry divisions really didn't have any zones of control against armor until way later in the war. But those are some additional gripes, I guess. So we'll shut this one out, and we'll look at a couple more up here. What's data? See, there's all kinds of these. I don't know if this has much significance to what I have in mind. Country. Oh, you can change a lot of stuff here. Now another thing, and I'm working on it now for all units, but the German army had a lot more headquarters than the game gives them. And maybe that's okay, I don't know. But the Germans probably had 3 times the army headquarters they have in this game. I think in this game they had 11. But they have a pretty good range. So I think I've got I wasn't able to produce all of them because they cost so much, so they probably should cost less. Oh, look, here's all the countries. Up here are all the countries. This is Germany. So anyway, so you can set a lot of different levels here for technology. Oh, you can set logistics capacity. So you can set a much higher number. But I think it should not be used. So you can set different levels for manpower. I mean, this guy was a friggin' genius. You can set different levels for manpower, for production, for saved production, landing craft. Wow. HQ-sized armies. Oh, so it looks like I can set the number of armies here. Okay. For each country. That is so friggin' great. I don't know what control is. Control title map, terrain. I don't know what that is. Resources. Rivers. Weather. So you can alter a lot of stuff here. Logistics. Okay, just the axis. I don't want to make any changes here. Ports. Control. Unit edit. I don't know what unit edit does. Oh, look at this, campaign data. Railroad repair rate. Now, this is terrific because one of the reasons I didn't get as far as the Germans did historically because the railroad repair rate wasn't big enough. You know, here it's only 2 hexes per turn. Maybe it should be 3 because the Germans went a lot longer distance than I could. So the rail repair rate is probably set too low. So that's terrific. I can reset it here. What else can we do? See, that addresses, these things so far I've come across addresses 2/3 of my gripes. I just want to quickly read through here. AA accuracy. That's interesting. But see, this game is so fascinating. You can change this basic design data not only to reflect reality, but to do what ifs, like what if? So well, this is interesting. So you could start the war later, or start the war earlier and run it later as well. That'd be interesting. Well, anyway, you can see this is pretty damn nice stuff, because you can alter a lot of the gripes I have, I think, and come out with, I think, a much improved game. So that's as long as I'm going to spend on this. And let's see how the hell I get out of here. Oh, wait, what's on the bottom here? It doesn't look like anything of any note. But this is, I mean, this game, this guy is genius. Good, where we started. Okay, so, you know, you finally have a guy that designed these games that know how wargamers think. And, you know, they always want to tinker with stuff, and now he's given us the ability to do just that. So, you know, the money spent on this game, it's the best. And probably War in the Pacific, I'm going through that. It's a lot more complex than War in Europe, but it's going to be the best wargaming money you ever spent. And I ought to know. I've been there at the beginning of wargaming. I bought my first wargaming, if you can believe it. It was Tactics 2. Who the hell made that? Was that SPI or Avalon Hill? But I bought it in Science and Industry Museum in Chicago back in the 60s, I think. And then I moved to Los Angeles for 20 years and worked there. And I picked up wargaming and went through the golden age of wargaming with, Strategy and Tactics and Avalon Hill and GDW and all those big names at the time and all the big board games. So I've gone through that whole process, and the way wargaming has developed here with AI this just blows. This is the new golden age. It's kind of like they call the golden age silent movies, and then when you went to talkies, they called the 1930s the golden age of movies. This is the same thing. It's like you've gone from the silent movies to the talkies, and this is the talkie golden age. So anyway, I guess that's enough said. We probably should get to the game. And let's do that. Let's load it in. Sometimes I get carried away. But anyway, so I'm going to devote considerable time, and we're going to go all the way through the end of this one, and hopefully I'll figure out all the tinkering, and then I'll start it again playing the other one. Now, one thing, if anyone has a solution to this, I think I might know it, but I don't. How did I put that now? There's a guy called Uxbridge that came out with some improved counters to both this game and the War in the Pacific version. Shit, where did I put that note? Oh, it's called Uxbridge's modifications for Europe and the Pacific. Well, I downloaded all of those, and he suggested you dump them in your what folder did he call it? It's like a game folder, campaign folder. And I did, and nothing happened. But I didn't take them out of the folder, so I probably should do that, and maybe something will happen. But you go to your C drive, users, gaming, OneDrive, then you go to documents, then my games, then Warplan. And you'll see both Warplan. Well, I've got both games, so I see both Warplan Pacific and then plain Warplan, which is Europe. So if anybody's ever done that and activated it, let me know. But I think if I just take them out of the folders, then I'll probably be okay. So I'll try to give that a try this weekend and see if that works. Because the X-Bridge counters looked really good. And my major gripe about the German counters is they don't put the Panzer Grenadier, and I think he did, icon on, and they don't put like the designations for mountain divisions, that little black triangle, or paratroop or other things. Everything looks just like a normal infantry divisions. And I like to see the historic designations on there, see what the hell's a mountain division and what is, what's another type of division. So anyway, with that, let's stop that and start in here. Okay, it's October 22nd, 1943, and we've got heavy rain in Russia and in parts in the southern part of Finland. I guess it must be too cold up here to rain. So Finland, we keep seesawing back and forth, but they're doing okay so far. They're still holding Petsamo. They're holding this middle line here. I wonder, I really never looked at Finland. I probably should have looked at them. Oh, they've got their reinforcement is set at 200, and they aren't producing anything because you don't have any production. But their upkeep is 0. How can it be 0 if I've set the upgrade to 200? You'd think that'd take some production points. Apparently not. Maybe they just go hit some reindeers in the head and use their clothes so it doesn't take any production. That's really odd, huh? But they keep rejuvenating because this guy was beaten down to 5 and now he's up to 10. So I thought it took. That's another thing. What does this take to upgrade? Does it take production? Does it take oil? Does it take manpower? I would think it'd take all of them. Because when you get beaten down, you've got to introduce new men. You've lost equipment. But I don't know. See, the game doesn't make that clear. Maybe I'll come across that somewhere. But anyway, they're doing okay. That's what counts. I really don't want to think about them. And for the most part, I don't have to. Now, the Italians have beaten off an Allied attack here. And it looks like the Allies are stuck in Sicily. The ones here, I guess, boarded their ships again and took off. The supply looks like they're, of course, they were cut off. They were surrounded because these 2 units cut them off. So okay, I guess Italy's okay for the moment. I got a fairly decent German force up here. Oh, as long as we got the rail, let's move. What are these Hungarians here? Romanians. Oh, that's the only one I can move. I'll move this Romanian right there. Now we just have Germans back here. I actually need a couple more. Do, 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 do. Oh, we got one here I guess we can use. And one more and that should do it. See if I can find another one. Here's one here, but he's not on the rail. He's not on the rail. Okay, I'll take this guy. That'll be the last unit for Italy. I'm just using the Germans back here, so if the Italians fall completely apart, then I'll just hold the Po River. Okay, now matter of curiosity, is this Frenchie still alive in North Africa? Yeah, nobody's making it a point to go down here and rub them out. I guess the U.S. evacuated everything but this armor for Sicily, and so they're just leaving them sit there. Syracuse is only a level 3 port. This is a 4. Messina over here. That's a 2. This is a 1. Yeah, so they probably don't have enough port capacity to supply these air units on Sicily, which is good. They'll stay far away. So Italy's good. And we'll move this guy up here to replace that guy he took. And I guess I'm pretty much set here. I don't see any point in producing more trucks. I have 1,000 trucks. See, I've got 1,837 production points, 960 manpower points, and 1,100 oil points, and I can't produce anything because my logistics is 0. That's a very big deal. And look at all of the units. Well, I guess there is a lot of headquarters to produce, but I couldn't produce them. Yeah, I guess they do maybe have most of the German headquarters. Look at all of them I haven't produced. Look at all of the large infantry corps I was unable to produce. And these are what they historically had, but I can't historically produce them. Look at the armor. Same way, look at all those armor corps I can't produce. Something's the matter with that, which I think is the logistics. So we're getting rid of that for the next game. And we'll see how things go. All right. So I know what I'm getting. I'm getting more and more trucks because I've still got some. Yeah, look at how many more I'm going to get. And I've got 1,000 already, but I'm not producing anything now. Okay, let's go on here. Now I'm interested. I've got to. That's right. I've got to start pulling out my armor for France. I don't need it. I don't think I need it in Russia because if I get a breakthrough, I'm just going to start swinging my line back 1 hex at a time. Look at the way he's stacked up, 4 deep. See, and I should be able to wade through that. In this game, it's impossible. But you should be able to wade through that. At a cost, of course. All right. I'm gonna have very little to do here. Just take a quick look-see at Finland. Anything's changed in Italy? Nope. Oh. Okay, now I guess I should start sending over some of that armor. This railroad, this was a brilliant idea. Put them right on the beaches. I think I can ship one more. Ship this guy. Oh, he's not on the rail. What a shame this guy is. Oh, I always do that. I left click instead of right click. I suppose I should put them down here. Okay, that should be it for France. Unless I start shortening my lines in Russia, which I should probably think about doing. They're awfully long lines. But he might be having breakthroughs, so I'll be shortening them that way anyway. Okay. We can go on. Oh, look at all that stuff he's got in England. Bet he's itching to come over, but I bet he doesn't have much in the way of transports. You know what? On closer consideration, I don't think I'm going to need armor on the Russian front. I think I'll send all my armor to France. Why not? Oh, I should be looking at these battle reports. I saw a guy that looked weak. Like he'd been beat up. Look at all those trucks. Finland. Looking good. Italy, no change. Still the same there. Okay, now, where's this beat up guy? Right there. Oh, I got no reserves there. That's why I probably got beat up. I got to spread out these reserves. Okay, let's look at the combat report. Partisan activity. Right there. Ground strikes. Where's he been doing ground strikes? Cagliari again. Cagliari. Oh, he's been bombing the crap out of that and getting nothing for it. Land combat. Oh, that guy, huh? So he held. I lost 5 land. No, he lost 5 land strengths. I lost 2. See, the odds were 1-1. That didn't turn out too good. What about this one? It was the same thing. He lost 5, I lost 2. Geez, he lost 8, I lost 4. Same thing, he's been hitting that hex. Well, he lost 8, I lost 3. They're all at 1-1 attacks, like I said. Christ, he lost 13, I lost 3. Okay, these are ground strikes. Strategic bombing, what did he bomb? Lille. Why is he bombing Lille? There's nothing there. 4 damage. What did he damage? It doesn't. It says production damage. It's just an urban hex. Huh. Oh, it's got steel. Okay, he's doing that because I don't have any air there. Oh shit, I guess I should be building air then. Or flak. I'll build a whole shitload of flak. So I'll have to cover all the cities. Okay. Flak. How's that? The first ones I get, I'm going to put on Lil. I'll do some more. I've got over 2,000. Yeah, okay. We'll start out with that and see how that works. All right. Okay, so I've got to switch out that unit. Let me go a little bigger here. Oh, I don't have anything around there, though. He can't make it, but he can. I'll have to temporarily put him in there. Whoop. So we'll take him out. Put him in. This guy in a rail. This guy is on a rail. So we'll bring him there and we'll replace him with this guy. Yeah, I've got to pay closer attention to those action reports because you can't really see what's going on here. So he's taken some crippling losses. Jesus, he must have took like 35 points worth of loss, and he still couldn't budge the guy. So I'll give this guy's down to 53% effectiveness, and his strength has dropped from 30 to 20. So we'll give him some trucks. Now he's up to 57. Okay, let's put these guys on the railroad. Guess we still need to keep some of these guys around. All right. Where are these guys going to... See, I can't get rid of these coastal... That'd be great if I could get rid of these. Because I'm always going to have to go underneath them. February 17th. Ugh, that's a ways away, but... there's nothing I can do about it until then. Okay. Well, I guess we'll do his turn and that's it. Or AI's turn. We've run out of time. Next time I won't talk. I'll just... I'll try setting up a dummy game and see how that works. There's no rules. Oh, we've got snow now. See if he's going to do some more attacking. Well, he's moved to 6 there, or has he attacked and gone to a 6? I'll have to check the combat report. Oh, and he's gone to a 5 there. Look at that. And a 5 there. He's taking some real hits. And see, you shouldn't be able to build an impenetrable line like that. He's not even getting 2-to-1 odds. He's getting 1-to-1 because his effectiveness is probably lower. I've kept mine up, so I don't know if he has. So let's see what the combat report says. Partisan there. Okay. Ground strike. Cagliari, they're getting killed. Cagliari. Cagliari keeps hitting there, but see, nothing's happening. Land combat, yep, right there again. So we hit a ground strike a couple times. Strategic bombing, of course, Lil, sure. Okay. All right. I'm just going to take... Oh, where's that armor? Just want to make sure I do that, because if I let this ride, I might forget. Oh, these guys can't get there. I have to push them up there. All right, that's going to be it. So I'm going to save this. Okay, so we'll continue this next time.